Hello. Welcome to the very first episode of the Entertainment Chat. This is very exciting. And for our very first topic, we're going to be chatting about the recent Avengers Doomsday trailers that just came out, like the Thor. And there's definitely quite a bit to talk about with these. Since it is the first episode, I'm just going to talk a bit about the podcast for a second, but I have put chapters on here, so if you want to just skip ahead, I get it. You can just skip to the next chapter. But there will be spoilers, obviously, so be warned. Okay, so as you can probably tell, this is an audio-only podcast. I don't really have any video to give you, and I don't want to show myself. So here we are. This podcast will be about, entertainment. Obviously, it is called the Entertainment Chat. I get it. But, I am an avid Marvel fan, and I will mainly talk about Marvel movies. So, I hope you're interested in that. And this is a much easier way for me to provide long-form content for you. So, here we are. But don't think that the other stuff is going away. Still do reviews, rankings, reactions. Now, obviously still keep my shorts. So this is just an addition. And one thing that makes this easier is that I can just have, notes that I can read off of, and then I just say things. Instead of, normally I have scripts for my videos, which can make this a bit longer and more chill, because that's, that's a podcast format. And also, there will be a new episode of this podcast on the very first day of every month. I know it's not weekly like you probably expected, but this is the consistency that I can provide. So you will get monthly episodes. And let me know what you think of this podcast down in the comments. I would love to hear what you have to say. Okay, so getting right into the first trailer, which was the Steve Rogers trailer. Well, as you probably were, I was spoiled that Steve Rogers was coming back because it was literally everywhere. But I was kind of slightly doubtful because I was like, well, will they reveal this? But as time went on, it just became way more apparent that it was true. And then, I went and saw Avatar Fire and Ash opening weekend, and lo and behold, there he was. So, yeah, Steve Rogers is back. Which is so weird. I feel like I wasn't sure he was going to come back. So, it's nice to see that he's returned. And he has a kid, which is also cool. People think that this kid might be Doctor Doom. I'm not really sure about that, but it is very interesting to see, and I'm really excited to see where that will go. I also, wonder how long this is after Endgame. How many years between him going back in time and him having this kid? And also, a bit more spoilery, but some Funko Pops just leaked. And it seems like he has a beard there, so is there even another time gap? Is this footage even going to be in the movie? Some people don't think it will be. And speaking of, time things, he's old at the very end of Endgame, and he gives Sam the shield. How are they going to keep the consistency? Are they not going to keep the consistency? Are we going to get a variant of Steve Rogers in the past? How are they going to make that work? It's very confusing. I feel like this trailer is possibly establishing Steve as a lead character for Doomsday. Or, maybe he just, dies immediately. But, if he is a main character, I don't really want that. I want to focus on our newer characters. So, we'll see what they do with him. I'm definitely excited for him to return. I just wish we would, appreciate our newer characters. Another thing is, how did they convince Chris Evans to do this? Clearly there has to be something about this that convinced him, because I feel like he said in the past, I would only come back as Captain America if they, had something really, really good. So is this going to be really, really good? I hope. That would be amazing. Hopefully it is really, really good. This better be. Also, this trailer could be the post-credit scene when Endgame re-releases in, September. They could add that on as, extra. Which I feel like would make a lot of sense, because it's the trailer that easily connects the most to Endgame. Okay, moving on to the Thor trailer. Just first off, Thor's back. I mean, we already knew that. And I think that's cool that Thor's back, but like Love and Thunder definitely destroyed any likability I had for Thor. So I'm hoping this movie will redeem that. So it's like with this trailer, it's kind of just like, oh, it's Thor. And this is definitely my least favorite trailer because of that. And he's like, he has this whole monologue going on, like, one last fight. Is this one last fight actually him fighting Doom, or is this just like something else unrelated and then Doom shows up later? Surely it's about Doom. Surely. But like, are they just teasing us? But either way, he wants to get back to his daughter, Love, who has returned from Thor Love and Thunder. So that's the second trailer that we've had two original Avengers have a child. So there's kind of like a kid thing going on. And there's also Franklin Richards, who we know is going to be a decently sized plot point in this movie, because we see Doom steal him at the end of Fantastic Four First Steps. So like, what's the theme going on here? Is there something? But the next two don't have children. So what's happening there? Also, just like a little mini thing, but like Thor's in the woods, but it's not on Earth. Like, are we just being like, oh yeah, just planets have woods that are exactly like Earth? Like, that's just an Earth forest. Like, dude. Also, with the leaks with this one I was really skeptical about when the leaks were leaking. I was like, oh, we got the audio file. I was like, there's no way. But then, obviously, it came out online. I was like, I guess there is way. Okay. And then we have my favorite teaser. By far. My absolute favorite. The X-Men teaser. And then this one leaked massively. Like, everything about this trailer was everywhere, and it was so annoying. I had to start, like, blocking all the MCU subreddits I was in, because I would just keep getting spoiled and spoiled and spoiled. But I managed to pretty much avoid it. At least, like, everything except for Cyclops. Yeah. Of course, you know, the best part is what's always get spoiled. Speaking of this trailer, let's just go back to the beginning for a second. X Mansion is seemingly the same set as in Days of Future Past, I think. Which is really nice and refreshing to see, because I feel like during, like, when Fox was making these movies, they did not care about consistency for a single second. So it's nice that, like, the set designers in this movie are actually paying attention and making things matter, which I love so much. And despite this, it seems like X-Mansion is going to get destroyed for the millionth time. So I guess none of it's really going to matter for that long anyway. And then we get this opening narration of, like, either Charles and Magneto both talking, just one of them. I can't really tell. A lot of people seem to think it's Magneto, but I'm not so sure. I thought it was all Charles when I watched the trailer for the first time, but everyone's leaning in heavily on it being Magneto, so I guess I could be wrong. But either way, those lines are insane. They go so hard, and it has me so excited for what this movie is bringing, because, like, dang, the X-Men are getting wrecked. There are bad things happening to them in this movie, as usual, honestly. You know. And then him and Magneto are playing chess again, which is an amazing callback. Love that callback. The Russos are doing the callbacks again, and I love the callbacks. So I'm happy to see that they're back. And then we see Charles and Magneto, and they, like, do this hold hands thing, and we see them look at each other, and it's just so nice. It's so nice that we have Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen back. It's so amazing. I'm so glad. And I hope that they do them justice. I really, really, really hope that they do them justice. But speaking of these shots, you have, like, Magneto in this chair, and it's like, he's kind of looking like he's dying. Like, is Magneto getting old and dying, and, like, they're taking care of him at X Mansion? Is he just going to get heavily sidelined in this movie because of it? Is he going to die? That's worrying me. Like, I don't want to see Magneto just get sidelined. I mean, he did have a lot to do in the X-Men trilogy, so I guess we have seen quite a bit of him. And then also, over this and just the whole trailer, the Avengers theme is playing, which is like, it's such a surreal experience to just hear those notes of the Avengers theme when you're looking at the X-Men, especially the original X-Men. And it's really nice. It's just like, wow, everything really is just finally coming together. I'm so glad Marvel has the rights back. This is hopefully going to be amazing. And then, we have that action shot of Cyclops absolutely losing it, which, oh my god, that was awesome. But like, once again, what is happening to the X-Men, bro? Like, oh my god, are they all gonna get killed off? Like, instantly? Or is it like, all the other ones will get killed off in this fight, and maybe like some of them will have cameos, and the only surviving X-Men will be the ones that were in the Chairs announcement. And maybe like Binary, and maybe also like Monica Rambeau will survive, if they're there. I hope they're there. It would make sense. I think it's, like them in the Chairs cast, are they the only ones who survive whatever's happening here? And it seems like that maybe what's happening there is Doom using Sentinels to destroy the X-Men's Earth, or just like destroy X-Mansion so he can destroy the Earth or whatever he's trying to do. So, it's very interesting to see. Very, very excited for this movie, especially with this trailer. This trailer is just like, it made me so excited. Just like, it built the hype up so much. Obviously, with everything that's going on with Marvel recently, it's like, oh, is this gonna be good? Like, no one has any faith in Marvel anymore, which I totally understand. I don't really either. But this trailer definitely built quite a bit of that back up for me. Like, quite a bit of their reputation. So, hopefully all goes well. It better. I really hope it does. And also, like I said earlier, no kid in this trailer. So, it's not all just children, which is good, because we got to focus on this. And then we had the last trailer, the week after, which was the Wakandans and the Fantastic Four, or really, the Wakandans and Ben Grimm. And when this topic leaked, this was the most skeptical I was of any trailer topic whatsoever, especially because we already, had the Fantastic Four's tease for Doomsday being the post-credit scene of the Fantastic Four First Steps. And also, there were, fake images everywhere that were, clearly fake. And there was even a fake Shuri, M'Baku, Namor, and Ben Grimm will return in Avengers Doomsday image. Which, I mean, those were, the main characters in the trailer, but that was, after seeing that, I was like, okay, I don't believe this for a second. I didn't hear anything about that until, the last few days up until the trailer's release. I'm guessing, mainly because I blocked all those subreddits. And then the trailer came out, and I saw the thumbnail of Shuri. I was like, oh, it's the Wakandans. Fantastic Four will probably gonna be here, too. And then actually, with the trailer itself, it opens with this desert shot. And I was like, oh, are we about to see the Fantastic Four ship crash? Nope. We didn't. So, we just, saw Shuri walking. And she gave, a monologue about, oh, I've lost everything. Pretty similar to her run in Wakanda Forever. Or maybe Queen Ramonda had that monologue? I don't remember. It's been a bit since I rewatched that movie. And also, there's this thing about, M'Baku is preparing the people for their deaths. What? What is happening? What is Doom doing that's oh, we're gonna prepare the people for their deaths? Is this a Wakanda-specific thing that he's doing to Wakanda? Is this the entire Earth? Is this the space crisis? Does this have to do with that space crisis in Thunderbolts? What is going on? I really want to find out what is going on. And then, seemingly, Shuri finds Namor and wants his help with whatever is going on. And we see, this place where Namor is. And it's got this, weird architecture. It's very deserty. And, his whole army's there. It's, Where is this? Like, what happened to him living underwater? What happened to that? What is happening? What is going on? Did they have to abandon the water because of Doom? It doesn't make any sense. And then we have like that moment of M'Baku and Shuri meet Ben Grimm or the Thing, which felt like very underwhelming. It was just like, the classic MCU joke. Someone's serious when introducing themselves, and the other person's just like making a joke out of it. So it just felt so underwhelming, especially because it feels like it's not a payoff for anything. Seeing the X-Men in general just felt like a payoff for everything that happened with them at Fox. And also just like the desire to see them again. But like we just saw the Fantastic Four, and people didn't enjoy Wakanda Forever as much. Like it doesn't feel like there's any payoff here. There's no feeling, if you know what I mean. And then after that, we have one more shot of Shuri at the base of like a Wakandan ship giving the go-ahead for like something. Like, what is this something? What's she giving the go-ahead for? How bad is it? Or is it just like, oh, go into battle? And then she does like the Wakanda Forever thing, which kind of could be a sign that things are going bad. But I don't know. And also, it seems like we're gonna get the romance plot between Namor and Sue, or whatever's going on there in the comics, which I didn't want, so yeah. Like, is that the entire reason that Namor's in this movie? For that plot? Is it a good plot? I don't know. I don't read the comics. Probably should, but I don't. My bad, guys. But yeah. I feel like with this trailer, it should have been like the third trailer. This should have been the third trailer, and then the X-Men should have been the last one. As you, like, slowly build up the, like, momentum or whatever for the movie. You slowly build up the hype with like, oh, Steve Rogers is back, but nothing much happens in the trailer. And then Thor's back, and something's going on, something bad is happening. And then you have the Wakandans are back, and they meet the Fantastic Four, and then you have the X-Men. Like that, I feel like that is a better order. But yeah, there's this theory going around that like the first trailer with Steve Rogers represents birth, the second trailer with Thor represents life, and the third trailer with the X-Men represents death, and the fourth trailer with the Wakandans represents the afterlife. Which I guess could explain the order. And there was also the thing with Russo saying, these are not teasers, these are not trailers, these are clues, these are stories, which I guess that could be it. If it's not, I don't think we're ever going to figure out what it is, because we still haven't figured out that image that they posted, like, between Infinity War and Endgame. Being like, look hard, like, what does it mean? And they posted another one. Like, they know we're never going to understand this. So, I don't know what the Russos are doing, bro. So, just kind of like some overall thoughts. I definitely enjoyed this segment of trailers. Definitely got me hyped about the movie. I'm super excited for it. December cannot come sooner. But, like, there was definitely... Well, I guess I would say there's definitely something missing, but, like, we're still a year out. So, I think it probably was, like, just enough of a tease for the point that we're at. And everyone's like, what's next? What's next? Is it going to be at the Super Bowl? I don't think we're getting anything at the Super Bowl. I don't think we're getting anything, honestly, again, until maybe even July, when Spider-Man Brand New Day comes out. Like, they might put all of their focus from the Super Bowl, which is probably when the Brand New Day trailer will come out. Which people are questioning where that is. Like, it's going to come out at the Super Bowl, which is a week from when this comes out. And maybe between me recording this and the release of it, maybe the Brand New Day trailer did come out, which would be stupid, because they should save it for the Super Bowl. But, like, they're probably going to block out all those months for Spider-Man Brand New Day to get hyped for that, and maybe people go watch that. And then they will attach the first, like, real teaser trailer for Doomsday to that movie. So, that does mean that we're still quite a bit out from any new information about it. But I think that's fine. Let Spider-Man Brand New Day have its time. It's a Spider-Man film, so definitely want to let it, yeah. But with these trailers, I've mentioned them before, but the leaks were insane. Everything got leaked. And it all started with the Steve Rogers thing getting leaked. And, like, after it leaked, there were people, like, The trailer wasn't even out. They just didn't care. They started spoiling it. Like, why are you making it worse? And to the people who did leak it, why? Why would you leak that? The whole point of the trailer is to be like, oh, Steve Rogers is back, but you ruin it. Everyone already knows before they see it. Like, there's no fun. There's no enjoyment. You just ruin it for everybody. Like, what's the point? What's the point of that? It's like, I thought of, like, doing a trailer reaction compilation for these trailers, but it's like, what's the point? I thought I was going to find out everything about the trailers anyway, and I pretty much did. Okay, about the trailers themselves, the colors on them, oh my god, the coloring for this movie is absolutely amazing. Whatever sort of filters they're using, I love them, because across all of these, and also the Thunderbolts post-credit scene and the Fantastic Four First Steps post-credit scene, the coloring has looked amazing. Whoever is doing this, I love you for that. It's awesome. It just makes it look so vibrant. Compared to, like, Infinity War, where everything was just, like, so dull, because that was kind of the vibe of that movie. But, like, here you have such vibrancy. I hope they don't just, like, backtrack and make it worse when the actual movie comes out, because I feel like in trailers, like, the color's always more saturated than they actually are in the movie. So hopefully it's not just, like, the trailer thing. I hope we actually get to see this. Like, the blue on Captain America's suit in that first trailer, amazing. The, like, grass in those woods with Thor's trailer just looks so nice. Like, I can't praise the looks of these things enough. And I hope that is a trend that continues with this film and Secret Wars. And yeah, I've kind of been saying this, but, like, these trailers give us, like, so much, yet so little at the same time. You know, like, there's, like, a lot of things we had, you know, glimpses at Steve Rogers, Thor, X-Men, Fantastic Four, Wakandans. But also, like, they were not that much and pretty vague. So, you know, kind of like a flip-flop there. Also, another thing about this movie is, like, it's not, like, mainly the Fantastic Four versus Doom, seemingly. And I get that, like, yeah, it's an Avengers movie, but, like, I feel like these trailers didn't pin them as having that big of a role. Even the trailer that they were included in didn't include them much. Which I guess is, like, a thing of, like, what I said already is, like, they did have their own post-credit scene. But also, it's, like, it feels like they're kind of being sidelined in, like, their own story. Well, their own big villain. But maybe they'll just have more of a role, and we just haven't seen that yet. Also, another thing, like, coming back to the Doom kidnapping children theory, like, I feel like if the movie is about that, it's like, oh. I mean, we know he kidnaps Franklin, but, like, that's just enough. I mean, Franklin is a being of immense power. Like, if he's just going after children like Franklin and Captain America's kid, Love, like, what are we doing? I don't really want to see that. I don't have any interest in that. And speaking of what are we doing, what is Doom doing? Like I've mentioned it before, we see the kids, the space crisis in Thunderbolts, the Sentinels in the X-Men trailer, and all of the Wakandans are gonna die, so, like, whatever Doom is actually doing, it's big. Like, this is a major threat, which is good, because for a film this big, you need a major threat. You need an Avengers level threat. You need that. You absolutely need that for this. And also, just another thing is, like, that I mentioned early on is, what about all of the new characters? I do kind of get that these, like, trailers, like, they're meant to sell you on the older things, like, the more classic things, because we already know about the new characters, but it feels like all of the multiverse saga characters are going to get sidelined besides the Fantastic Four. Like, I think the Thunderbolts and, like, Shang-Chi are gonna get screwed in this movie. Like, we're probably not gonna see much of them, I feel like, which is really bad, because I love the new Avengers. So, you know, I hope we get to see them. But also, it's another thing is, like, nostalgia sells tickets, especially with the Fox X-Men. Nostalgia sells tickets We saw proof of it with Spider-Man No Way Home, which made $1.9 billion in a pandemic. So I get the nostalgia thing. It's like they make more money off it. In this film, Disney's probably like, this film needs to gross at least $1 billion or you're done. That's probably the Disney mentality right now. And we know that like the MCU is gonna reboot after Secret Wars. So like I feel like if this and Secret Wars do bad, Disney might just like pull the plug entirely, which would be bad. I want to see more Marvel content. We already have Jake Schreier attached to an X-Men film. So like I hope that Marvel just doesn't get screwed over. And I hope that people actually go see this movie if it's good. You know, obviously if it's bad, that's a completely different story. But like my main worry is that it's good and then people don't go see it anyway because of the fatigue. You know? So I get like just focusing on what people know, especially because this film is like meant to be more of a sequel to Endgame seemingly. So yeah, another reason that the new Avengers would get sidelined. Yeah, I'm worried for the new Avengers in this movie. I really want to see more of them. I hope they at least get their own second film. I know that Spider-Man Brand New Day is the first film in the entire multiverse saga that has been a sequel to another film in the multiverse saga, being Spider-Man No Way Home. So, you know, Marvel has really not been up for repeats lately. But, like, we need some characters to get their own sequels. We need Fantastic Four 2, which we'll obviously get. We need Thunderbolts 2. We need Shang-Chi 2. We need that so bad. We know we're probably getting Black Panther 3 and, like, Doctor Strange 3. I hope Marvel locks in on sequels. And also, at the end of every trailer, you had the timer. Like, the timer counting down till the movie's release. And there was, like, a little glitch in between the timer. It would show the date the movie's coming out, and then it would glitch into the timer. And there was, like, a couple frames of, like, half showing, like, the timer and the date. And everyone was trying to decipher the numbers in there. Everyone was going insane about it. And they're like, oh, I bet you that these are, like, time steps in Avengers Endgame. And they lead to things. And, like, people were, like, go with it. And they were, like, during the timelines, like, oh, what does the timelines mean? Like, did they mess up the multiverse of doing this? And it's like, I don't think the timer glitches meant anything. I think they were just, like, a badly done timer glitch. Because, like, they lasted on too long. Like, the bit that you see between. I think it's just a timer glitch. I don't think it means anything. Yeah, I think it just means absolutely nothing. And when the fourth trailer came out, Marvel started a live stream of the timer until the movie's release, which I actually have up right now, just in case for some reason anything happened. But there's, as of when I'm recording this, there are 10 months, 25 days, 6 hours, 46 minutes, and 18 seconds. Which actually there are 26 days, because January is 31 days. But this timer will even itself out in March, so it'll be fine. But, like, I made a short way earlier on, and I was like, oh, I bet you Avengers Doomsday will get moved up to, like, whatever the first Friday of November is this year. Which, wait, let me Google it. It is November 6th this year. So I was like, oh, I bet you Avengers Doomsday will release on November 6th. Which, my reasoning for that was just like, there's just so much time in between them finishing filming and the movie's release. It's like, they're probably going to move it up or like finish it early and get it out earlier. Which I think, it's like, I feel like that was a pretty solid theory. But the thing I kind of forgot about, which like, I feel like it was like the main thing that could have backed it up, was Doomsday. Which, like, Dune 3 is scheduled to release on the same day as Avengers Doomsday. And Dune 3 has all of the IMAX theaters for that weekend. And I feel like, the thing is, like, this timer's kind of, like, solidifying that December 18th date. But, like, so I was kind of like, oh, I guess they're really just not gonna move it. Until I saw this Reddit post, calling it now, Doomsday will release November 27th, 2026. This is on r/Marvel Studios from u/AJ_loft. He says, I ran all 16 million possibilities and there's only one option that makes sense. this movie needs IMAX screens, which I agree with. I definitely agree with that. I was like, oh, I guess they're really just not going to go with IMAX. Then anyway, he says, I'm being optimistic, believing they can't afford to delay into 2027. Yeah, I don't think this movie is releasing in 2027. There's no way they're delaying this. He goes on to say, they're doing reshoots as we speak and have the entire year to do post and VFX. What better marketing tactic than dropping the next trailer and having Doom or another character manipulate time / the countdown to reveal an earlier date? Now that is smart. That is a really good idea. That's probably what's going to happen. I think the Avengers Doomsday will get moved up theories back. Even though we have this timer that I'm looking at right now, it could get changed. I think this person is definitely right. And then they also go on to say, this will likely be picture locked and ready by November 1st anyways. Thanksgiving weekend is great at the box office, which is something I kind of ignored. Because I'm just so used to Marvel November movies coming out in the first week. But I think definitely onto something with November 27th instead of November 6th. And then he also says, this is glaringly obvious and I would be shocked if I'm wrong. Top comment, considering Infinity War and Endgame also had their releases bumped up by 2 weeks, it's possible. And there's somewhere else here, it's like, this wasn't announced until March 2018 that Infinity War is going to be moved up. So there's definitely a lot of potential for this movie to get moved up. And I think it's definitely entirely possible. I think it could really happen. I think it probably will happen. I've never, really agreed with the December 18th date anyway. It's like, when I saw it, I was like, it just didn't feel right. But, I mean, obviously the movie still does feel far away. Obviously, it doesn't feel like it's soon at all, you know? Kind of weird to think that, alternatively, 3 months from now, this movie was going to be out before the latest delay. But, I don't think it's coming out December 18th. I've never believed it. I mean, I know RDJ and Timothy Chalamet just trying to make Doomsday a thing, but it's not going to be a thing. It's not going to be a thing. Doomsday's not happening. They're trying to recreate Barbenheimer, and Barbenheimer will never be recreated. So, that's all I have. That's all I have to say about these trailers. I know this is kind of short, but I'm just I'm a fast talker. I like to shorten my points. That's just the way I am. Trying to get better at that, trying to extend what I can say. But I feel like I went over a lot. And I loved these trailers. So, thank you for making it to the end. 2 episodes from now, not the next episode. Just gonna give you some more time. So, the episode that will release on April 1st, I swear it's not an April Fool's joke, I will be doing a theories episode where I go over your MCU theories. So, please, leave your MCU theories down in the comments for me to read. And I can go over them and talk about them and see if I agree with them or disagree with them. Maybe I think you're absolutely insane, or maybe I think you're completely right. I'm excited to find out. And thank you so much for listening to the very first episode of the Entertainment Chat. Goodbye.